Today I am going to talk about VSEPR theory. This theory tells about the shape of molecules. If anyone have the knowledge of VSEPR theory, they have the ability to determine the or interpret the shape of molecules. The name itself is very clear that it will be abbreviated as valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. So the shape of the molecule depends upon the number of valence electrons present in the central atom of molecule or the electron pair presence of electron pair either in bonded pair or lone pair. So the shape of molecules also depend upon whether the electron pair which is present either as a bond pair or lone pair. Depending upon that, the shape of the molecule can be changed, especially bond angles will be changed. Third one, relative size and shape of orbital. To understand this theory more clearly, this can be explained by 5 different rules. If we understand these 5 different rules very clearly, anyone have the ability to predict the shape of molecules. Rule 1. Electron pairs tend to minimize repulsions. What does it mean? Electron pairs tend to minimize repulsion. The overall preferred geometry of a molecule in the valence shell, which the overall electron pair present in the molecule which maximize their distance apart and minimize their repulsion. For example, if you have a molecule which is the category of AB2, A is central atom and B is the 2 atom which is attached to the central atom. Then it has 2 bonded pair of electrons. If you kept these 2 bonded pair electrons at 180 degree apart, then this molecule will have minimum repulsion. So the molecule will attain, it has the overall geometry of AB2 type molecule is linear. When you go to a system of AB3, then the central atom attached with 3B atom, it has 3 bonded pair of electron. So the preferred geometry is planar, trigonal planar. You can see here. So in this case, the central atom attached with 3 atoms. These 3 bonded pairs are kept at 120 degree apart to minimize their repulsion. It has to attain, if it attains the geometry of planar, then it has minimum repulsion. When you go to a molecule of AB4, then the molecule has the geometry of tetrahedron. It has an angle, it has a bond angle of 109 degree. It has 4 bonded pair of electron. In case of 5 bonded pair of electron system such as AB5, AB5 can attain the geometry of molecule is trigonal bipyramidal, TBP. In case if the molecule has any molecule which comes under the category of AB5, if it attains the geometry of trigonal bipyramidal, then it has minimum repulsion. TBP geometry, these 3 atom attached in a planar. It has the bond angle of 120 degree. Under the 2 atom which has longer bond length, these atoms will be called as axial atoms, and these 3 atoms are called as equatorial atoms. It has 2 different type of bond angles, as well as 2 different type of bond length. Axial bond length is always longer than equatorial bond length. Then the system we have AB6. It has 6 bonded pair of electrons. The most ideal geometry for this system is octahedral. See this one, octahedral geometry. In this case, the central atom is attached with 6 atoms. In this case, all the bond lengths are same, and the bond angle between any 2 is 90 degree. So, in case if you replace any one of the atom by their lone pair of electrons, then the geometry will be almost similar, but the shape of the molecules will be changed depending upon their repulsion. Now let me go to rule 2. Yeah, non-bonding pair of electrons, a non-bonding pair of electrons occupy more rooms than bonded pair of electron. Simple molecule, we have a tetrahedral molecule. Maybe we can take silicon tetrachloride. In case of silicon tetrachloride, we know that it is a tetrahedral geometry. Or the simplest molecule, we can take methane. Methane will be most appropriate to make comparison. Methane has the bond angle around 109 degree under 28 minutes. Then when you compare with the similar system with the non-bonded pair of electron, we can compare with the ammonia. you can compare these two systems. In case of methane, it has 4 bonded pair of electron, but in case of ammonia, it has 3 bonded pair of electron and 1 lone pair of electrons. This lone pair of electron under the influence of only 1 nucleus. But when you come to methane molecule, a bonded pair of electron will be shared by 2 different nuclei. So, this lone pair electron is localized on only 1 nucleus that can make more repulsive force than bonded pair of electron. So, in case of here the bond angle is 190 degree, you can't expect the same bond angle here. The bond angle will be lesser than 190 degree. Theoretically, experimentally it was calculated that the ammonia, the bond angle of ammonia is 170 degree. Because there is a repulsive force between bonded pair of electron and the lone pair of electron. That lone pair of electron occupies more rooms than bonded pair of electron. That's why the angle of the bond angle was decreased in this case. Okay, now let me go to the next one. In case, just let me come to the geometry of trigonal bipyramidal geometry. In trigonal bipyramidal geometry, we know that, for example, you have 2 bond length which is longer and the 3 bond lengths are shorter. So, in case if this sides, it has 2 different sides. In this case, if there is the presence of lone pair electrons, one of the atom will be replaced by lone pair of electrons. Either will go to axial side or equatorial side. So, you can see here this axial atom have neighbor of 3 atoms. So, in case if you come to the equatorial atom, equatorial has only the neighbor of 2 atoms on the basis of bond angle. For example, the bond angle between these 2 is 90 degree. The bond angle between these 2 is 90 degree. And this 2 is 120 degree. So, this can, if we kept a lone pair of electron in TBP geometry here, it will face more repulsive compared with keeping the lone pair of electron in equatorial side. So, in TBP geometry, the lone pair of electron will occupy the equatorial side than axial side. An example for such kind of molecule is SF4, sulfur tetrafluoride. It has the geometry of trigonal bipyramidal, but the overall shape of the molecule will be called as seesaw. And of course, the bond angle of this one as well as this one will be changed. It should be reduced. It's not now 90 degree as well as less than 90 degree, as well as this bond angle also will be reduced. This bond angle. This bond angle is not 90 degree, as well as this bond angle also. Equatorial between the 2 bond angles, so this will be around less than maybe around 117, and this may be around 87 something. This will be around 103 degree, and this one will be 179 degree. Both the bond angle gets reduced. Okay, let me go to the octahedral geometry now. This is the simplest example. You can go to AB6 type complex, AB6 type molecules. In this case, all the bond length of AB is equivalent. all the bond length of AB is equivalent. In this case, if we have to replace one of the atom by lone pair of electron, it can attain the geometry of trigonal pyramidal. An example for the complex is TeF5 minus. So the molecule again it has the geometry of octahedral, but the shape of the molecule, if we excluded the lone pair of electron, the shape of the molecule will be called as square pyramidal. Okay, and one more thing we can tell here, what about the bond length of TeF? Octahedral complex, octahedral molecules have all the bond length of AB is equivalent. But when we come here, square pyramidal, when we come to the molecule of TeF5 minus, it has two different type of bond length. One which is in the square basal plane. This bond length is longer. This bond length, the bond length of TeF, which is present in the square basal plane, is longer compared with the axial TeF. Shorter, this one is shorter. Why in this case this one is shorter, this one is longer? Means because this lone pair of electron, again what happened? It can make ripple of this 4 fluorine atom to make the elongation of TeF bond. Okay. So now we can conclude for this one. If all the sides are equivalent, the lone pair can occupy any one of the side to form square pyramidal geometry. In case if a molecule can have 2 lone pair of electron, I mean I am talking about a system with 2 unpaired of electron, that is AB2 E2 AB4 E2 type molecule. Then what happened? You will get the lone pair electron will go trans to each other. The lone pair electron will go to trans to each other. Why it has to be trans to each other? Why not to each other? Because the repulsive force of cis bonded pair, repulsive force of cis bonded pair is less than repulsive force of cis unshared pair of electron. Cis unshared pair of electron. So that's why what happened? If the molecule have all the sides are equivalent, the 2 lone pair can occupy the position of trans to each other. It has the geometry of square plane. An example for this molecule is ICl4 ICl4 minus. Now let me come to the rule number 3. Rule number 3, what does it mean? Double bond occupy more space than the single bond. double bond occupy more space than the single bond. Similarly, if a molecule has triple bond again occupy, it takes more room than double bond or single bond. The simplest example we have, you can compare a molecule of carbonyl difluoride. We know that carbonyl difluoride, actually the geometry plane, it has only the planar geometry, but when we come to the bond angle, the size of an atom of oxygen and fluorine is almost the same. So we can expect that the bond angle should be in each side. All the three sides should be equivalent. But actually, all the three bond angles are not equivalent because of the presence of double bond between the carbon and the oxygen atoms. So whatever the rule 3 saying, it is very clear that this bond angle is higher than this one. I mean, the bond angle of OCF is higher than bond angle of FCF. degree, 126 degree. This one has 108 degree. This one has 126 degree. So the bond angle here FCF is decreased and the bond angle of OCF is increased because the presence of the double bond between the carbon and the oxygen atoms. Now let me go to the rule number 4. Bonding pairs to electronegative substituents. Bonding pairs to electronegative substituents occupy less space than their electropositive substituent. Bonding pairs to electronegative substituents occupy less space than their electropositive substituents. So, for example, you can take a molecule of ammonia. We can compare with the electronegative substituents such as NF3 molecule. Both have the geometry of tetrahedral. We can call more specifically the shape of the molecule will be pyramidal. But what happened the bond angle? Is the bond angle both cases will be same? No. Bond angle of, HNH bond angle of ammonia is higher than FN. This bond angle is decreasing. Why it is decreasing? That means we can see here fluorine, we know that it is an electronegative, highly electronegative substituent which can attract the bonded pair of electron near to the fluorine center. So this lone pair can make more repulsive, or you can say it can take more room to decrease the bond angle of FNF. So what happened? The answer will be very simple. This bonded pair of, or you can say simply ionicity of P, ionicity of NF bond. This bonded pair electron will be more near to the fluorine atom. So what will happen? The lone pair of electron can dominate and then take more room to decrease their bond length, bond angle of FNF. In this case, hydrogen is an electropositive substituent, so the lone pair of electron between the two nuclei. In this case, what happened? that in this case the repulsive force between lone pair and bond pair is minimum compared with the NF3 molecule. Then we can compare rule 3 and 4. Both we can make together and then we can compare. Rule 3 and 4 we can make together and then we can have a series of molecule. With that one we can compare. You can see these three different molecules. First one is sulfur tetrafluoride, then sulfonide tetrafluoride, then SF4 with one double bonded CH2 group. So let me compare these three molecules by with the bond angles. So for example, if I have taken the bond angle of axial F, S, F, the ideal bond angle should be 180 degree. Similarly, equatorial F, S, F. It should be, we can expect the ideal bond angle should be 120 degree. So experimentally the bond angle was here 179 degree and 103 degree. Why it will be like that? Because according to rule 2, this lone pair electron making more repulsion with both axial F, S, F as well as with equatorial 2 fluorine atoms. So what happened? The bond angle of this one as well as this one, both of them will be getting decreased. When you substitute a SO, what will happen the bond angle? Again, in this case also bond angle will be decreased because of, according to rule number 3, 178.5 degree, but this one is 103 degree. So in this case again what happened? Double bond occupy more space than single bonded. On that basis what happened? This bond angle of both of them is getting decreased. When you come here, the bond angle 170 and 97 degree. So when you can see here, equatorial bond angle should be 120. It was almost 23 degree was reduced. But in this case 180 to 170, only 10 degrees decrease. That means more effect was observed in this bond angle. Why? That can be explained by bonding of SF4 double bond CH2. Please look at this molecule. The central one is sulfur atom and we have 4 fluorine atoms, and while the blue color ball is here carbon atom and 2 hydrogen atoms. It's very clear that one, the plane of F, S, F, C hydrogen attached with carbon and axial F, S, F will be in the same plane. But you can see here, when we go in this direction, the lone pair electron, I mean the pi electron, I'm sorry, not lone pair of electron, the carbon having 2 pi electron, which is coplanar with the SF2, which is in the equatorial side. So this electron, pi electron, can make more repulsive in the equatorial FSF makes this bond angle gets decreased because of repulsion between the pi bonded electron of carbon and SF2. That's why what happened, this bond angle is decreased more compared with the axial FSF. Okay. And then we can go to last rule, rule number 5. This one actually is very clear that if the central atom is in the third row, the central atom is in the third row or below in the periodic table, then the S electron occupied in the stereochemically inactive S orbital, stereochemically inactive S orbital, and the bonding will be purely through p orbital to make the bond angle of 90 degree. The simplest example we have, you can take a molecule of SeCl6 2 minus, or you can take another molecule of TeCl6 2 minus. In both of the molecule has how many bonded pair of electrons? In both the case has 7 bonded pair of electrons. 7 bonded pair of electrons. How with 7 bonded pair of electrons? Selenium 6 and then chlorine 6, 12 plus 2 electrons, 14 electrons. So 7 bonded pair of electrons. So 7 pair of electrons. 7 pair of electrons, out of 7 pair of electrons we have to expect that 6 bonded pair of electron and 1 lone pair of electrons. But so the geometry should be around distorted pentagonal bipyramidal. But actually both of them have a perfect octahedral geometry. So that means it's very clear that the electron which is present in the S orbital, that is stereochemically inactive. That means that electrons are not involving in bonding, and the bonding was happened with purely p orbital electrons to make the bond angle of 90 degree to achieve the geometry of octahedral shape. Okay. So I think for the reference for this chapter is, you can go to reference. Reference for this topic is Inorganic Chemistry, Principles of Structure and Reactivity. Principles of Structure and Reactivity by James E. Curie. 4th edition.